Welcome to Paladin Financial Talk. I'm your co-host, Tony Shore, and I'm here with our host, the man with the plan, Jeff Quick, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Tony. How are you?
Oh, I'm excited. Just Christmas time, holiday time, holiday movies. That's what we're talking about the entire month of December. And I think it's great. I know you got a great one of my top 3 Christmas movies of all time.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great movie. I enjoy it. Not everybody enjoys it as much. I heard somebody refer to it as a movie filmed with crying and screaming children.
What? A Christmas Story?
Well,
come on.
When people say that, if you listen, there is a lot of crying and screaming amongst the kids, but great movie nonetheless.
Yeah, well, it's got a dose of reality in there then, it seems.
There is, and it's amazing the amount of financial topics you can get out of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it is amazing, and especially out of this one, A Christmas Story, but... I'm in the holiday. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.
So you should be Santa Claus.
Pretty good Santa Claus,
That's not
right?
Bad, not bad.
I've got the build for it, and I got the ho, ho, ho down, and I could definitely use some milk and cookies, so I could down some of those. I'd have no problem playing Santa Claus. I don't have the ability to grow facial hair, really. I can't grow the good beard like you can.
I can't either. I've got some patches in here that could use a little filling in.
I don't know about that. Well, great to be here with you, Jeff. Always good to see you. It's going to be a fun discussion. So we are talking about financial lessons from the movie A Christmas Story.
Yes.
So, why do you think A Christmas Story resonates with so many people?
Well, there's a lot of great topics in there. We're going to talk about things such as wants versus needs, risk management, the impact of ignoring some of the consequences that can turn up. There's a section in there where we're going to talk a little bit about having an emergency fund, right? Things pop up. You got to be prepared for them.
Sure, I can see that.
Values, legacy, family planning, how family members influence other people's financial behaviors. So there's a lot of things we can get out of there, and some just basic financial conversations we can definitely delve into.
Yeah, and those are some things that you are used to dealing with your clients and people you meet with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They all need to be addressed, and the main point is to have a plan, and all of these things should just fall neatly into place should they happen to occur. We can plan for those ahead of time, so that we're not impacted overall by some of the things that can take place.
Oh, that's huge. I think that's big, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really good. So let's talk about, you mentioned wants versus needs. That's a big part of any financial discussion. Where does that lesson come through in A Christmas Story?
Well, you remember Ralphie, right?
Well, of course, the main character. Ralphie's the kid in the story.
That's correct. And he really wanted that Red Ryder BB gun.
That's his ultimate goal, is to get a Red Ryder BB gun.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. And why did he want it? He just wanted it, right? He's a kid. We all want things. You probably have some things you want, Tony. I have things I want. I don't necessarily need them. You may not need them. So weighing those wants versus needs is often a big decision people should make. That can really impact their financial future should they make the wrong decisions.
Well, especially if you're talking about retirement funds and somebody, hey, we're going to retire next year. We want to buy a big boat.
Yeah.
Well, do you have money for a boat? Did we plan that? Is that part of your retirement plan? How is that going to affect your retirement income? So I can see that obsessing over one purchase, especially a big purchase or a lifestyle upgrade. And, it might be one of those, I know I shouldn't, but I really, really want this, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I want a couple of new side-by-sides, or I want a new truck, or I want a boat.
Yes.
These are things I bet you hear people say in
all
retirement.
the time.
Or we want to take a trip around the world, or that really expensive, month-long cruise, right?
Yes. I just had a conversation with a client here earlier this morning, but going back to the Red Ryder BB gun, what did everybody tell Ralphie was going to happen?
You're going to shoot your eye out with that thing. You can't have his mom was adamant, you cannot have a BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out.
Right. And that was, what would we call it? That we call that a risk. That was the risk of purchasing the Red Ryder BB gun.
Right.
And with each financial
guns
decision,
are dangerous.
They're dangerous.
Yeah.
There's risks.
Yeah.
Anytime you make a major purchase, there's risks, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're choosing one thing over another. you should really try and connect these to your overall family and financial values before you make these decisions.
Yeah, and it can affect your long-term goals too. Maybe an immediate purchase now affects, you have these long-term goals for yourself, your spouse, your family. So you don't want to make rash decisions, and you don't
Correct.
want to make decisions that you'll regret later on, right?
That's right. So you really need to balance these immediate wants, right, versus your long-term goals and how that will impact them moving forward. So that's really the biggest lesson is don't make a rash decision today over something you really want without taking into consideration your long-term financial goals, which goes back to, as we always say, you have to have a plan. If it fits into your plan or you can adjust your plan to make this a reality, great. We'll work with our clients to make that happen. But we always want to be looking at the risks. In the case of the Red Ryder BB gun, potential injury. You could shoot your eye out.
Right. There's always that was hilarious. You'll shoot your eye out. And it's just a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that it really captured. I think it took place in the late 50s, right? The movie supposedly. And that's just, it really captured that time and a Christmas and little kids at that time and what they wanted. Nowadays, you'd look at that and go, what? But it's that was kind of the way of life, even for me as a kid. And you probably remember that. I'm a little older than you, but it's, yeah.
Same general ballpark.
Sure.
Tony. Same ballpark.
Sure.
Yeah, so prioritize your goals, right?
Yep.
Have a plan. You should have a little bit of room within your plan too to make adjustments, such as a small purchase, a Red Ryder.
Maybe have a bucket for wants.
Yes.
The majority is for needs, but you have a bucket for this and a bucket for that, a bucket for monthly expenses. You have a bucket for, okay, we're going to do this down the road, a bucket for healthcare, but taxes, tax-free bucket, a bucket for wants is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A little walking around money, as my dad likes to say.
Yeah, a little pocket money.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So that's the Red Ryder BB gun, right?
Sure.
Everyone sees the risk except Ralphie. And that's also my role as a financial advisor to foresee some of these risks that may be involved in making certain financial decisions, weighing them, and helping the client to determine whether or not this want is worth the risk that they're subjecting themselves to.
Exactly. A lot like Ralphie, some investors and people you've worked with might come in and they ignore a risk, or they ignore your warnings about, hey, you're going to shoot your eye out with that thing. They want to invest all their money into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You're like,
Bitcoin,
hey, you could shoot your eye out with that thing,
an
right?
individual stock. Yeah. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But you could also lose everything in the case of putting all your eggs in one basket, or buying more of a growth stock or something high risk that you see out there. And you just want to, again, weigh those things. Maybe you have within your plan the ability to take that risk.
Sure.
And then go ahead, as long as you're aware of the risk and you're willing to tolerate that.
Right. And I find it interesting that people let their emotions drive them so much that, everyone else can see, looking from afar or a distance, say, well, hey, there's risk here.
Right.
But the person right up there in it, can't see the risk. And it is funny how everyone in the movie saw that potential risk. It seems like to a person, everyone said, oh, that's risky. Except Ralphie. He did not understand that risk.
100%. And maybe sometimes it's just a matter of maybe transferring that risk onto somebody else. In the case of the BB gun, maybe if you do certain things like you wear eye protection, right?
Yeah.
Now we've eliminated the risk or at least decreased it of shooting your eye out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you could do with the BB gun. In the case of a risky investment, asset allocation, diversification, there's things you can do to minimize those risks that you're taking.
Sure. And there's risk beyond just market volatility too. Health risk, longevity risk. There's different strategies like you talked about. What's the next thing we need to look at?
So the other part, and I sometimes forget about this one, but remember when the furnace broke down?
Oh,
and the old man lost his marbles?
He lost his mind. Their furnace broke down.
Yes. And why? Well, probably because
the cost of a furnace would be outrageous.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can avoid that and losing your mind if you have planned for emergency savings.
Yeah.
We typically recommend 6 to 12 months worth the emergency savings.
Sure.
So you can absorb these kind of things. In the case of a furnace, You look at the weather we had here in Minnesota last week, right? Below zero, negative wind chills. The last thing you want to do is go without heat here in Minnesota during the winter time.
Terrible. On one of those mornings, the coldest morning, and it was below zero quite a bit, 8, 9, the power in our neighborhood went out.
Really?
And we panicked. I panicked a little bit.
Sure.
But we knew it was out right away. The Facebook local neighborhood group said, yeah, it's out here, it's out here, it's out here. But I thought, how long is it going to take them to fix it?
Right.
Because it's below zero.
Right.
We've got pets, we've got pipes, we've got other things. We have us. We don't want to freeze, know.
Yep.
So luckily, within 30 minutes, they had it back on.
Oh.
So we didn't even notice. It wasn't even a blip. But had it been more, 4 hours with no heat on a 9, 10 below day,
yes,
you'd feel that pretty quick.
So the electric company or the gas company who was ever providing the heat,
right? It was an electric company.
They were obviously well prepared for that. They had it back up and running in 30 minutes, so they had a plan.
Yeah,
right?
well, in the summer when it goes out, it takes them a lot longer. But I think they knew, it's more critical.
Yeah,
9 below is more critical than 80. You know what I mean? In the summer,
yes.
I mean, heat is critical too, but not the same.
Not the
same. But is that the point in A Christmas Story when the furnace goes out? Is that the point where Ralphie's dad swears and he says the line, my favorite line from almost any movie? My dad wove a tapestry of profanity that will hang in the air for years to come. I absolutely love that line. I use it all the time.
Yes.
I go, he was upset. He wove a tapestry of profanity that will hang in the air for years to come.
Well, so was that the furnace, or when didn't they got a flat tire or something happened with the car? Remember Ralphie was holding onto the lug nuts? Well, that's when Ralphie kind of followed in his father's footsteps, right? And he might have used some of the same language there.
Yeah, that was funny. But I love that line. That's great. I did forget about the furnace crisis during the movie. There were so many things that went wrong.
Yeah. So one of the big things we do to accommodate for that at Paladin is we stress test a client's retirement plan. So if a furnace goes out, right? If something else were to happen, a major expense, if Social Security gets reduced, if some of these things happen, can my plan withstand that so I don't have to go on a tirade and use some of those words Ralphie's dad so eloquently spoke in A Christmas Story?
We want to avoid that kind of those expletives.
Yes. Yes,
we always edit yours out of the show, Jeff. I always say Jeff once wove a tapestry of profanity that will hang in the air for years to come.
Never happened.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, and then the next one is you just look at the old man and the family dynamics, right, between them and how they reacted.
Yes.
To the old man in this case. I use that term only because it was used in the movie.
Right. Yeah, we don't call our dads the old man, but in the movie, and in that time, it was pretty common.
It was. And it did shape the household, right? You saw Ralphie have a similar reaction, which was not appreciated by the father, but where did he learn it from?
The father. The chip doesn't fall far from the block, does it? Or the apple from the tree?
Correct. And it's the same thing with finances, right? If you grow up and your parents don't maybe handle their finances correctly, and they make mistakes and errors and don't have a plan,
or don't talk to you at all ever about finances or money management.
Correct.
Like
you're likely to make the same mistakes.
And I made them.
Impact.
Yeah. I mean, I wish my parents had talked to me about money and done a better job with that. But certain generations, like my grandfathers and my fathers, English, 100% English farmers, their whole lives very. They can be happy people and fun, but never talk about emotions, finance. Those we don't talk about.
Yeah. So there's a lot more to it. Those family and financial values come into play.
Yeah.
So again, you just want to align your spending with your values, teach your children through example, have a plan, have an estate plan, a tax plan, a financial plan, and make sure all these things are working together, and have those family conversations about stuff as much as you're comfortable with, and have a purpose-driven plan.
Yeah, he could. Ralphie's dad could have avoided a lot of problems with communication, and if he had had a trusted financial professional like yourself,
Yes.
I think he would have been in better shape.
Yes.
And he would have taught Ralphie to save up for that gun, and he would have,
That's correct.
been in a better situation, and maybe done some safety training first.
Yes. And then I think one of everybody's favorite parts of the movie was the major award, right?
Oh, was it the lamp?
The leg lamp.
The leg lamp. That is one
Right.
of the funniest things I've ever. I mean, the first time I saw the movie, I cried. I laughed so hard at the leg lamp.
Yes.
Yeah, and now it's an American icon.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they sell them in stores. You see that everywhere. The lady with the fishnet a lady's leg from a mannequin with a fishnet stocking and a lamp on it.
Yes. And the father couldn't have been prouder of that
Oh,
leg
he was
lamp,
so
right?
proud of the leg lamp, wanted to put it in the front living room window, and his wife was beside herself and the family.
Yes. So the wife did not
Embarrassed.
necessarily agree with him in this case, right?
Oh, no, they did not agree.
So it's also important to make sure you're on the same page with your spouse in this case.
Yes, with finances. That's
Correct.
for sure.
Correct.
And when you meet with a couple, if you meet with if somebody's married, you want to meet with both the husband and wife or both members of the couple, right?
100%.
Yeah, both parties need to be present.
They both need to be present.
Yeah, because otherwise there has to be communication there.
Yeah, I mean, I've even gone to the extent, Tony, honestly, of canceling meetings because the spouse can't show up.
Right.
So if just one individual is coming, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. And you've got to get couples on the same page about their money.
Yes.
I mean, it's not going to work if you don't.
It's not, and that can be challenging. Oftentimes when we start off with our risk tolerance questionnaire, you can fill it out as a couple which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
They can find a happy
My wife
medium.
and I did,
Yep. So we'll coach them through that, finding some common ground. Otherwise, some couples do keep finances separate, or at least their investments are a little bit different. And typically, I think most people would agree with this, the husband or the man in the relationship is usually willing to take on a little bit more risk, typically, than his wife.
It's a stereotype, but it's true.
It is.
Just like typically women outlive men, so you
Yes.
got to plan for that. Typically, the men handle the long-term financial investing, and nowadays, typically the women handle the day-to-day checkbook.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct. So
it's
that's
just the way it is.
That's a challenge too, getting them on the same page or making their individual plans work together. You know, sometimes a majority of the risk is in one spouse's portfolio
Yes.
and a lot of the safety is in the others,
Yeah.
which makes both people individually happy, but also brings the plan together so it works to make sure that we have a successful relationship with them and they have a successful financial plan moving forward.
There you go. Well, I think there's a lot to learn, a lot of great takeaways, and I think listeners should. What are some of the things our listeners should take away from all this?
Yeah. So the main things are emotions oftentimes drive decisions, and we can avoid a lot of that by having a plan, talking about the family values. We want to make sure all risks are acknowledged. The risk of a Red Ryder BB gun, the risks of being too aggressive,
the furnace going out,
the risks of not having emergency savings, right?
Yeah.
All these things are risks that maybe they can't be eliminated, but we can mitigate them to a large degree to, again, ensure that plan overall is successful.
And teaching the proper lessons and learning. I think one of the top of the list, the takeaway should be gun safety. Wear the eye safety over your glasses. Don't just wear glasses either, because they can shoot the glass out and then cut your eye.
Now we got other problems.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, he does shoot his eye out with the Red Ryder BB gun.
I think there's a 24-hour marathon of the show coming on. I think they have that
If
every
you
year.
haven't seen it, you got to watch it. It's well worth it. It's very funny. It's a classic. I would say my top 3 Christmas movies are: number 1, A Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's by far.
Okay.
Nothing comes close. Number 2 would be Elf.
Yes.
And number 3 is A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story. Where does Home Alone fit in there? Home Alone is one of my favorites.
Home Alone would be 4 or 5. It would be in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe the second one when they're in New York. I like that one.
Yep.
But I like them both, the original and the first 2.
Yep.
I think they did a couple more, but those weren't. Yeah, we're not going to talk about those. But yeah, the Red Ryder BB gun. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's in my top 3. I would go probably Elf #1. I probably watched that the most.
Oh, so good.
And I do love Home Alone. I like A Christmas Story. There's a few others. We had a little discussion in the office. Now is
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation is classic.
Don't forget about that one.
Classic. With him again, he didn't plan or prepare right when he's setting up all those Christmas decorations. Maybe somebody already talked about this movie or not, but right, he had all his eggs in one basket, and when those lights didn't go on, again, Clark lost his mind.
He lost his mind. He kicked the Santa Claus and reindeer and wove a tapestry of profanity that'll hang in the air for years to come.
He definitely did.
All right. Well, Jeff, a lot of great lessons from A Christmas Story, and we hope everybody out there had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.
And Jeff, here's to 2026.
2026, here we come. Happy holidays, Happy New Year to you and your family and to all the listeners out there.
All right. Sounds great. And that does it for today's episode of Paladin Financial Talk with our host, this guy right here, Jeff Quick.